we'll just. What's up, everybody? How's it going? What is it today? It's Friday, Friday,
Woohoo!
May 30th. We're going to talk about some luxury packaging. We're going to look at an example of what some brands are doing. We're going to talk about texture, different print processes. Before we get to that, though, Corey, what's up, man? How you doing? Good.
Really good. Happy to be here on a Friday. Excited. Adam's off sailing his pirate ship somewhere, but that's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let us know if you're watching, where you're watching from, where you're listening to. If you are catching this on the Spotify podcast, repeat, Apple podcast, whatever that is, do us a favor, go check out the YouTube channel because you can see what we're talking about. Although on Spotify, you can watch the video. Adam is out of the office. So I mean, just talking about Adam and his pirate ship, I think... Oh, all right. Yeah, we gotta cut somebody off.
I think texture in packaging is an incredible addition to the visual experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. So in luxury retail, right? So, you're spending hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on different items. Brands have built, stories about heritage. They've been around for years. The clothing, the products are all on a different level than the stuff that you're picking up, your everyday stuff, right? Your CPG stuff, your food stuff. It's completely on a different level from that. Now, a lot of questions that get asked here on the show is like, why does luxury packaging have to have so much packaging?
Right. It's that opening experience, right? It's the feel of luxury. It's the experience of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if I'm buying a bag of chips, I should be able to tear open, eat, recycle, toss, whatever. That's, it used to be like 59 cents for a bag of chips. It's like $3, $8. I don't even know what it is anymore.
$3.59, right? Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows at this point? But if I'm going to go and I'm going to be thoughtful about what I'm buying and I'm spending, now luxury doesn't have to be fashion. I mean, it could be a phone, it could be
Right.
an Apple product. All that stuff has a feel to it, right? Like when you touch an Apple box, an iPhone, a laptop, an iPad box, it all has the same finish, right? It all has that same feel.
That matte white finish with a soft touch. Yeah.
Yep. That lamination, like all that stuff, it's all built into the whole story. And actually, I was watching a podcast yesterday with Johnny Ivy talking about designing the packaging for the cables in the phone box. Right. And he's like, I would spend nights like just thinking about this and how do I make it easier for the consumer to experience this? And how do I get them to think and feel that every aspect of this entire system has been considered and they're the ones that we're considering. Right. And it's the cable. It's a lot of brands just, wrap it up and put a little belly band around it, shove it in a box, move on.
It's an afterthought. Whereas he's right. We need to understand the consumer and their mindset as they open up the item and how they're feeling. And I know that's kind of hoity-toity for some people and kind of, people don't often understand that, but it is important and it is a process that we need to be aware of. And I think, Velio, you've done a great job of making that an experience for the consumer without breaking the bank in the packaging department.
Yeah, it's important, right? And when we talk about why is it important, imagine if you were to buy, the next iPhone 15, 16, whatever's coming out, and they handed it to you in a paper bag, like with nothing in there. You spend $1,000 and it feels like there's no value, like they're almost disrespecting the product.
Yep.
And
that's a great point. If
if
it
the
is put
brand
in a paper
doesn't
bag.
value the product, did I pay too much? Right? That's kind of
Mhm.
the question. Chris, thank you for joining us this morning. It says, I wonder what percentage of luxury product purchases are opened by an assistant and not the customer.
Good point.
I would guess less than you would assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then I think about people walking around a shopping
Mhm.
center, with their Gucci bag or their high-end retail bag, and showing off the hey, I went to this store. So it's not just the opening experience, it can be sometimes the walking around experience too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I know. I was doing some photo shoots around here in Scottsdale for a couple of brands that don't have stores in the entire state. Like these are brands coming out of different regions, and people would stop me because they had like these fountains and some cactus and stuff. It was like perfect setting for photography for this product. And people are like, "Where is that shop?" Because like they see it and it's a billboard and it draws attention, and it's a huge point. So I wanted to
Boy,
share like this example here. This is a brand called Loewe. They're based out of Spain. They're an LVMH brand, and they do a ton with texture. Obviously, design is insane for them. They launch new collections, and the packaging ties right back to the collection. In this case, they'd launched a set of purses that were covered in beads, and they
uh,
looked like fruit, right? Like they had like a green one that looked like kiwi, but it was all beadwork. So this art is a scan of the beadwork,
oh
and then
wow,
the goal and what you
beautiful.
can kind of see here. I'm gonna move a light, maybe you can get a little more of a sense here.
Yeah.
Is this beadwork? All the beads are actually covered in a raised UV, right? And it's
Wow.
not all the beads. But the beads that are more of a highlighted color, the ones that are raised
Hmm.
themselves in the scan, uh, so all of a sudden it's like you see it, and as you're walking by, you can catch the glimpse of that texture, and you want to feel it.
So much thought went into that.
You can hear that, right? We even looked at like the black beads doing a raised foil stamp for the black ones, because then they'll create their own shadows, their own highlights.
So cool.
You've got the logo across the top here, which is a raised um, foil stamp, and it's like a rounded, which kind of then ties into everything else. The box, of course, is going to open. It's going to hold a fragrance in here. There's an insert that goes in there, but
Wow.
this is a really nice opening
Beautiful.
experience. The beadwork kind of wraps to the inside. This has no texture,
Oh, interesting.
but like this small solid box is like a great example of something people are going to keep.
Right. That's a shelf placer. Right. Exactly.
And then they also did their shopping bags with similar art.
Hmm. And did they use the different bags? Like you mentioned a green one and a yellow one. They used different ones, or did they have all the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, so they had like the small bag had this texture, and then I think the medium bag had the green texture, and then the large bag had the other texture. It was like a collection of 4 different fruit,
That's great.
and they applied that artwork to the packaging,
And then
right?
people
And
are
then
gonna collect all of, "Oh, I need all 4," "I need all
yeah,
of them." Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and like Brian's saying here, it's details that make all the difference. A raised UV, a reticulated UV, like that gives you, not only is it catching the light,
Yep.
creating shadows, you're getting highlight shadows, but you want to feel it. Like you want to touch it, because you
Mhm.
typically expect packaging to be flat. So
Right.
definitely something that's going to be memorable.
It's a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. But there's other treatments that you can do.
mhm.
So Corey, like what are other things that you can do to create texture on packaging?
Well, embossing or debossing,
Mhm.
and, depending on who you ask, one is raised and one is lowered.
Yeah.
And, I think that, in addition to foil stamping and UV strike through can be just shocking. It just can make things pop off the box or off the bag.
Yeah, those are so you've got UV, right? That can be raised. You can do like thermography, right? So
Hmm.
that's going to be a colored ink. It's got a powder that's applied to it, goes through a curing process, and it gets raised. It's like think of like the puff print on T-shirts back, when
Right.
you were a kid. That's a great way to do add some tactility to your packaging. Embossing, like on this logo, like a spot emboss, a blind emboss,
Hmm.
where there's no printing and doesn't have to align with anything. That's a great way to add some interest to your packaging. Then there's also just like an all over texture, right?
Right.
And all over texture is something you can either buy with a paper. If you're buying like a branded sheet, there might be a linen, a columns. There's millions of textures out there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
then
like you said, it can be done on the paper in advance of putting it onto the box, which is
yeah,
really cool.
absolutely. Brian said you can do a silk screen, which is that's really nice as well.
Hmm.
Um, but you can also do like a custom all over texture. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to the fan book and be like, oh, I want this texture.
Hmm.
You can create a texture. I would say that's going to require either, depending on the size of your packaging, it's going to require like a small plate if you got
Hmm.
small packaging, or if you're going to do like a collection of packaging, you'd want to do a cylinder. In which case, you've got this laser engraved male and female version of the cylinders that you can then just run your sheets through.
It's
Uh,
amazing. It's
and
amazing
that,
tech. It's cool to watch.
yeah, and that's something I love to do. I love to create custom uh, embossing textures for like all over,
Hmm.
and it's not that expensive.
That's a good point. It's not that expensive to invest in a foil stamping die or things like that. I mean, yes, they are intricate and
Mhm.
often made of copper, which can be expensive if they're large. But it's when you look at the total cost of the project, it's a minor input.
Yeah, and it sets you off from everybody else. Now, when you're starting out, we talked about some startup packaging yesterday. So if I'm starting out with like small runs of packaging, like what's a good way that I can differentiate,
I
Corey?
like what Brian said. So I often recommend taking stock packaging
Mhm.
and then doing a screen print on that, or to mention Adam, maybe a nice label. Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Or if you're going really low tech, you can
mhm.
just do a corrugated box with a custom printed tape. And the
Yeah,
way that you apply the tape can make a whole difference, and it make that experience for the consumer.
yeah. Tape is a great example of a way to brand a box. So you can buy, a Uline box, like whatever. I go
Mhm,
online, find your favorite cheapest
mhm.
corrugated shipper box. Right, you're buying 500 of these. You can go to U-Haul. You can go to Home Depot and buy blank boxes.
Yep.
But a nice tape, and you can get them in different widths. So you can go with like a really nice wide tape
Yeah.
that you can either go,
Huge impact. Right.
across the center. You can do like an H, um, like where you apply. I've seen brands that just go like diagonal,
Yeah.
right? Like that all of a sudden that's your branding.
Yeah.
It's
All of a
cheap.
sudden, you're right, and the consumers are excited to see it. They're gonna take a picture of it for
Mhm.
Instagram. It's a big deal, and it will get the message across, and in the long run, it'll save you a fortune because unless you change your logo,
Yeah.
you can use the tape any way you want.
Yeah. I know like when I get samples from French Paper Co., those guys have like a beautiful tape, and it's just
Mhm.
all these icons from Charles S. Anderson's team of like just the most random stuff, but it's so fun. And that's a paper tape with the reinforcement threads in there. And it's a water adhesive,
Yep.
but it's so cool. Chris mentioning soft touch.
Yeah.
Soft touch is awesome. That's like what you
I
get on
agree.
Apple. We've got LinkedIn user, anonymous LinkedIn user. Texture plays a crucial role in enhancing both the visual and tactile qualities of plastic products too. Um, Ampeset's muted metal collection, multi-layer
Mhm.
HDP. Um, it's like a commercial, but again, with packaging. So it's not just paper. It's not with plastic. It's not just paper. So if you were to do like a clamshell, if you
Oh,
were to
good point.
do,
Hmm.
um, there's a million different ways that you can apply texture.
Yeah.
But tape is a good one.
I even think of void fill texture. Scotch cushion lock. When you expand
Mhm.
it, it pops open and it creates this kind of cocoon feel, which is really awesome,
Yeah.
and it makes it interesting for the consumer when they open it. There's also lots of beautiful void fill colors that you can
Mhm.
use. Papillon paper, which is French for butterfly. When it expands, it looks like wings, and it's just really cool. And it comes in like 8 different colors. So there's so many things that you can do on a
Yeah.
budget or very high end.
Yeah. What does tape cost? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, $3 a roll, something like that for a 110-yard, 3-inch roll. Uh,
So
somewhere.
easy investment, right?
Yeah,
You're probably having to buy 10 rolls or 20 rolls minimum or something like that.
I
But
think you can buy a case,
Mhm.
custom print, which is 26 rolls, I think.
Yeah, perfect. So great way to do that. Brian, soft touch plus gloss UV. Yeah, 100%, right? Because you're getting the soft touch is going to absorb that light. It's going to refract that. So it's
Mhm.
not reflecting back. And then you put that UV over the top of it. And all of a sudden you're just drawing all the light into that. So good call. Great contrast in color and then texture as well.
Yeah.
But if you've got any questions out there, if you're watching this, and you're like, hey, I want my packaging to be elevated. I want to create something a little bit more luxe. How do I do it? Throw in the questions, reach out to us. Adam's not here, but he's happy to answer it as well.
Oh, and I have a podcast coming out with 3M, I think next week or the week after, about that custom printed tape.
Oh,
And they
awesome.
they have a unique process where they print um, between the layers, so it can't be scratched off, which is
Okay.
a really cool idea for custom print.
It, is that not how tape is usually printed?
Oftentimes, it's printed on the surface, which
Oh,
makes it
really?
easy to,
Yeah.
as it goes through the system, it gets roughed up and scratched and,
Yeah.
can wear off. So they were really excited to show off their tech, and it's very impressive.
Wow. So are
I got
they?
to go to Minnesota to see it.
Oh, you did. So so they're printing on the backside of the film,
Mhm.
and then are
Exactly.
they applying the adhesive over the ink, or is there another layer of
Yeah,
film?
the adhesive under that, so it makes it so, it's just really, robust and strong. Yeah.
That just seems so dumb that we haven't done this before. Like, what?
If I know that.
Why would we never print on the backside of the tape? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Yeah, they figured it out. I don't think they're the only ones to do it, but I think
Mhm.
they're one of the first and one of the
Yeah.
leaders in that space for sure. Their
No, that's what's cool, right? It's
their
like,
tape is, top notch, top quality.
absolutely. It's 3M. But that's so funny because like it's so simple. Like, why
Mhm.
haven't we always done it this way? Right. But like, it works. We print on the top. The tape already comes with adhesive on, so we just print on top. So don't worry about it.
Yep,
But
exactly.
when it does go through the system, things get scuffed, things get scratched, they get stained. By the time it
Yep.
shows up to you, that tape looks like crap.
Mhm.
Doing it like this way, where they're printing on the backside, yeah, it's going to get scuffed and scratched, but your branding, your art is all going to be intact.
100%. And
So,
their new 570 paper tape is incredible too. So totally recyclable with the box. One thing about tape is with the poly materials, it gets sloughed off during the recycling process and ends up in the landfill. Whereas this 570 tape
mhm,
brand is totally recyclable with the box.
yeah, yeah, no, and Brian's got a good comment here with packaging. If you're looking to kind of mix it up a little bit, you can have like one standard box and then
Hmm.
add sleeves, and that's a great option because you can change that sleeve out
Yep.
seasonally. You can change it out as you need to. And then when I remove the sleeve, I get the same experience every single time. So
Yep.
whatever your box looks like, logo, everything's intact, and then put a sleeve over the top of that dresses it up. And kind of like with the tape, you've got another option too. You can print the outside of the sleeve, you can print the inside of the sleeve. So when I remove it, there is
Hmm.
a little wow, a little surprise left for you. So
Right. Or put in on the inside of the sleeve, here's a menu of all the other items that we sell.
Yeah,
Here's your upsell opportunity.
absolutely. Put a QR code with a coupon or like,
Mhm.
there's a million different ways to do it. It doesn't necessarily work couponing for luxury, but it is a great opportunity to
Yeah.
sell, to do that upsell. So thank you, Brian, for the idea. Thank you guys for joining us. Chris, everyone, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll see you guys Monday,
Have
and
a great weekend.
be ready for the new game.
Yeah.
What's the game?
Stump the chump.
Stump the Chump. That's right. Can't we solve it? So if you got questions on packaging, join us on Wednesdays where we'll do this. And if you guys ask us a question and we're stumped, you get a shirt.
Yes. They're cool shirts. They
Yeah,
will be.
they will be. They are. They're definitely cool. All right,
No
guys. We'll
problem.
see you.